In this video, we're going to look at whether we should use a consultant to support the development of our management system. Hi, I'm Andrew Thornhill. I'm the Director at IRM Systems, where we've helped organisations for many decades develop systems right through to the point of certification. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to take you through a bit of a step-by-step process. How can we identify a good consultant to work with? So to get into our content, yes, a good consultant can be helpful in helping us design a system right from the start that is both enables us to meet the requirements of that standard, but is also reasonably streamlined. That's where their experience can be beneficial. We do see when we sometimes quite often get called in, organisations that have developed a management system themselves. It's become really difficult to administer, really burdensome, because it's just too overdeveloped, too much process, too much procedures within it. Yes, a good consultant can help you focus on exactly what you need to focus on. So you've probably got two choices. If you do decide to go forward with a consultant, you do see two approaches from consultants there. Some of them, sometimes a lower cost consultant will say, you know, we'll develop our whole system, your whole system back from our office. What you want to avoid there is they're not simply, you know, copying and pasting a system they've already got for a previous client. I've done external audits. You're reading through a quality manual or a safety manual and the name of the old client's still in there. That's poor quality consulting. It's not adding value to your organisation. Our approach to IRM Systems, as one example, is even if you want us to do the whole lot, we come to your workplace. There's got to be that transfer of knowledge between your staff and our staff so that we understand your operational processes and get a really good understanding of your businesses, and your team starts to build up their own knowledge around the ISO requirements. Your second option you could look at is to develop the system yourself and just bring in consulting support in really critical parts of the standard or more complex parts of the standard. And where we see customers needing most help, probably the toughest part of the standard is identifying legal and other requirements. That's a pretty tough thing to do if you're not that familiar with laws and standards, as well as yes, all of the standards here talk about evaluating compliance with those legal and other requirements. That's where it can be quite beneficial. The other area too, commonly where organisations ask for a bit of assistance, is on the hazard risk assessment processes, identifying what are appropriate controls as well under their safety system as one example. The other area too, yes, is just getting a little bit of support on design of your system. If you've developed the first iteration, here's what we think our system's going to look like. It can be worthwhile getting some input from an experienced consultant at that point before you go and develop all the documentation and then try and release it and implement it. That's a lot of work, and then you find out, well, hang on, there's something else we needed to include, or our processes aren't quite covering everything they need to. They can save you from all that implementation effort. Then we've got to withdraw what we've done and re-release it, which can affect the buy-in from the staff if things are being re-released all the time. So it's a bit of a bonus. How do we identify a good consultant? So number one is get some reference checks. Talk to people you know in your industry or in your network who've been through this process already. It can be really good to get a consultant who's got kind of demonstrated experience with your industry. That can be really good if they do have that, as well as they do need to be able to critically demonstrate their knowledge of the subject matter. So if we're getting someone in to help with a food safety system or a safety system, or what's their expertise, their knowledge around food safety or safety, for example, that can be really important. We mentioned their approach previously to, yes, we don't advocate using consultants who just do this from their office. They should be working with your team on site, have that transfer of knowledge. The main reason for that is you want a system that reflects what your business does and how you do it, how you manage your risks, how you meet your customer needs. Off-the-shelf systems, or buying ones that are really reflecting the way the consultant thinks you should meet the ISO requirements. The big issue with that is you spend a whole lot of time then having to follow processes and demonstrate conformance of processes in an audit situation that are not really anything to do with your business and not adding value to your business. As a final point too, yes, you do need a consultant who is familiar with obviously management system standards, but also certification, and by that processes, demonstrate experience around that. They might have an environmental background, for example, but it doesn't really mean they necessarily understand the environmental certification process and what's required. Thanks for listening. If you're enjoying our content, if it's helping your knowledge around ISO compliance and certification, we really encourage you to subscribe. We've got a whole range of content that'll help you on your journey. Thanks for watching.